Right.
All right, it's going to be wonderful.
Let's go to social media queen.
Okay, social media queen. All right, so once again, folks, make sure, there she goes.
Hello! Social media queen is very upset because she heard that we may go to Shaggy and Friends.
Right.
All right, the Brad and Squeeze show, but social media queen will be left behind. We're
really?
terribly sorry, social media queen.
That's not what she told me.
Somebody has to stay behind, and unfortunately...
She asked me who's staying at my house. I'm like, nobody. She said, can I stay in one of the rooms?
No, she has to stay back. Sorry, social media queen. Next trip.
You are going to Jamaica.
Next trip. So what do we got on social media? Let's go for it.
Okay, here we go. Candy would like to know if a father is out on permanent disability and getting SSI for the child, and the mother works and pays taxes for the child, can the father file taxes for the child, or does the mother? I think she asked this yesterday as well.
Only one. There's no such thing as filing taxes for child. What the question is who is the dependent? Who gets to list the child as a dependent on their tax returns? And it's what is the facts behind it? Is the child dependent on one mother, or is the child dependent on the father? Where's the child living? Who's raising this child? That's really the bottom line. Just whatever the truth is, that's who's the dependent. So I will give it as an example again. In my life, I am divorced, as social media queen is aware, right? Okay.
Yes.
So my children live. What?
Is that rhetorical, or are you asking?
It was rhetorical. Okay. So my children predominantly, although I'm a very good father and they see them every weekend, but they predominantly live with the mother. So on my tax returns, I do not list my children as dependents, although I'm paying, astronomical sum of child support. The mother is, because that's where the children live.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's as much tax as I know. After that, I got to go to Carmela. All right, next question.
Tanisha would like to know, what's the best way to do an adoption if you're here but the child is in Jamaica? The mom and dad have both died. What can I do?
You have to file an orphan petition. You have to allow the Jamaican...
Stop. We have to file an orphan.
We have to help you file an orphan
There
petition. You got to get the Jamaican Adoption Board, which is now called somebody else, the Child Development something or other, down in Jamaica to allow you to take this child to immigrate to the United States. You just can't go down to Jamaica and just pick a child off the street who doesn't have parents and just bring them to America. You have to get the government has some sort of say in this, the Jamaican government. So they have to give you permission to take this orphan child. So you do that through what was formerly known as the Jamaican Adoption Board, and I just keep going blank on their new name. And in the same time, you have to go to your local county court here and do what's called the pre-adoption. The United States will allow you to bring a child to America as an orphan if, in fact, you could legally adopt them here in America. The United States does not want children coming to America that ultimately that you will never be able to adopt. So you have to do a pre-adoption here in the United States, in whatever county you live in, and a judge says, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but the judge would say something to the effect of, yes, when this child comes to America, this child is an orphan, we've checked out this family is cool, and I will sign the adoption decree. And then you do an orphan petition and bring the child up.
Got it.
We need an egg timer for me. This is far from rapid.
You notice I have nothing to say?
This is far from rapid. This is like a musket right now. Like rapid fires go bop, 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 bop. This is more like, all right, let's take the bullet, reload. All right, let's go.
Carlene would like to know, and this is another sad one, an 8-year-old cousin of mine in Jamaica, her mom passed away 3 weeks ago, her father died 2 weeks later. Wow. Now I'd like to adopt her even though she's just my cousin. How can I go about doing that?
Same exact process, okay? Get permission from the Jamaican government. We help you do that. You do a pre-adoption here. The child can be here in 7-8 months if we do this really fast.
And right.
The worst thing you can do, what you never do, is go down to Jamaica or whatever country unless they're part of the Hague Convention. Jamaica's not part of the Hague Convention, but there's other countries that are. We're talking about non-Hague Convention countries. You don't go and do an adoption in that country because you'll never get the kid here.
And what is the Hague Convention?
That is a UN treaty where countries agree to certain requirements to do an adoption and bring orphans across borders. And if a country is part of that treaty, then the U.S. government knows that they're doing the right thing by their orphans.
Okay. Well said.
Shelley would like to know. My husband is a U.S. citizen and a veteran who got hurt on the job. He's filing for my 3 kids and me. Our priority date is the 19th of July of this year. When my husband called USCIS yesterday, they told him that they just reached February. Does that make any sense to you? Is it a problem?
No, it's not a problem. They're just really slow these days, but eventually you'll get here sometime in 2018 with your kids.
Justine would like to know, I'm in overstay status for 2 years now, but I'd like to travel to New York from Florida. I plan to go to New York for New Year's Eve. Can I travel by flying?
Yes.
Chanel would like to know, my cousin got married a little over 60 days after her now husband came to the U.S. They have an interview later this month. Do you think there's going to be a problem?
Yes, they better get a lawyer.
Dolly would like, yep.
Nobody listens
that
to Squeeze.
90-day mark.
Nobody.
Yep, continue.
Dolly would like to know, if someone has a felony and has to renew their green card, is that going to be a problem?
Yes, better get a lawyer. Nobody listens to Squeeze.
Nobody.
We got lots of problems today.
Yes.
Lee would like to know, when I'm coming back from Jamaica with my disposition, how do I present that to the immigration officer?
You present your green card and passport, and if they ask you about prior arrests, you say, oh, I have the disposition, and hopefully that disposition, when you show it, doesn't put you in deportation. It's a disposition where the case was dismissed. If it's anything
Right.
other than the case was dismissed, I wouldn't be traveling and I'd be speaking to me.
Yeah, you're handing them the nail in your coffin.
Exactly. Yeah. Can you take the gun and shoot me, please?
Akanya would like to know, I'm having a baby with Medicare. Is that going to affect my filing?
No, because the Medicare is for the child, not for you. You should be okay.
Moya would like to know, I am in an F3 category, and my mom filed for me in 2008. How long do I have left to wait on the filing?
Years. 3 more years.
3 more years. Connie would like to know, can someone file VAWA and still be living with that person?
We answered that question. She called the first question, and the answer is, why would you be doing that?
I thought so, and she gave a different name. Yeah. Justine said, my father's 10-year green card has expired. What does he have to do to apply for citizenship?
And
can he file for my siblings in Jamaica?
Can he file for what?
For the siblings in Jamaica.
He can file for his siblings in Jamaica once. I don't know whose siblings we're talking about, the father's siblings or his children?
The question asker, so it would be his children.
His children he can file for now as long as they're unmarried, and he should. And when he becomes a citizen, upgrade it. If the children are married, you got to wait on citizenship. Citizenship's done on an N400 application.
Perfect. And Violet wanted you to know that the adoption agency in Jamaica is the Child Development Agency.
Yes, I said there was child something or other. Thank you very much, Violet. Child Development Agency. I got to get that member in my head. I don't know why I keep forgetting it. Child Development Agency, Child Development Agency, Child Development Agency, Child Development Agency. All right, got it in my head. I'll never forget it now. Thank you very much.
Because for the past 2 years, you've not gotten it.
I haven't gotten it.
Yeah.
Because I used to do this all the time, and I was always speaking to the Jamaican Adoption Board. So now it's same people, same offices, the same process. They just changed the name on me.
Dolly asks, if you're a U.S. citizen with a 2-year probation misdemeanor, will that be a problem to travel abroad, or will it stay on your record?
It is a problem to travel with any conviction. You should not travel with any conviction until you pass it by a very good immigration lawyer.
Extremely important that you understand that, folks.
Allie Berry would like to know, if you become a citizen while you're...
Allie Berry?
Allie Berry.
Allie or Hallie?
Allie.
Allie. Oh,
Berry.
I thought it was Halle Berry. Squeeze.
No.
Yes.
No. I would be much more excited.
Right.
She didn't tell me she was going to call.
Yeah, no. Shaggy called, but Halle Berry didn't call.
Yeah.
Wasn't that funny? Shaggy calls in the middle of our show?
Yeah. Shaggy and
Pretty
Prince.
typical Brad and Squeeze show day.
Yes, yeah.
Allie Berry would like to know, if you become a citizen, will your under 18 kids automatically become citizens too?
If they live with you and you in your legal and physical custody, and they have green cards, when you become a citizen, they would automatically become a citizen too.
And her follow-up question is, what if you go to your citizenship interview and you don't pass the questions? Are they going to give you another chance to apply?
Yeah, you will. If you don't pass the English portion of your citizenship or the government and civics portion, they will allow you to come back a second time to try to pass it.
Okay. Sean would like to know, he had received a pink slip from immigration and they told him that his co-sponsor did not make enough, but his co-sponsor makes over $30,000 a year and has no dependents, and they're also asking for 3 years worth of taxes. Can you explain this?
You obviously did something wrong, and you don't get a pink slip, by the way. The only time
People always use that.
Yeah, there's no pink slip.
You do.
Right. It's like there's no detention. There's like the detention slip. Go to the principal. It's called a request for further evidence. It just comes on a pink piece of paper. And the answer is it sounds like you probably did not complete the affidavit of support properly, or you did not submit all of the supporting documents for that affidavit of support, because on that pink slip, it's just basically a computer printout that says a lot of mumbo jumbo that may or may not apply to you particularly. What you got to take away from all of this is you screwed up. And when you screw up, nothing good happens. So until you file back everything to them, it's as if immigration never received your application from the get-go. So now, let's say you're waiting 3 months, 4 months for your work permit. That work permit has not even started to process yet, because you have not submitted a completed application to immigration. So let's say hypothetically now, you submit everything back properly, and that's a hypothetical that it would actually be submitted back properly on January 2nd. Count 120 days from January 2nd before you get your work permit. So that's already, you're now in May before you get your work permit. Okay, when you probably filed this back in September. This is why you need good lawyers to make sure stuff like this don't happen.
Very
that was not
important.
proper English, but you know what I mean.
I get
Okay.
Marcia would like to know, I was married 2 years in my marriage and I filed for divorce. My husband has abandoned me now. And I got my divorce lost in February of 2016. Now I'm dating someone who is a little bit older than I am. He's 69 and I'm in my 50s. Do you think that we're going to have a problem when we get married next year?
No, I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
Okay, that just about concludes the SMG,
Sorry, SMG, we're done.
the social media.
That's okay.
SMQ. We change your name every day.
Yeah.